should be live. Alright, let me check here. I'm gonna open up the stream on my phone so I can view the chat. Let's see. Hopefully I can find it. Alright, give me a second. Change here. To see if I can open it up. And then we'll get started. Nope, wrong one. Oops. Okay. Just a second. Trying to find it. Not letting me simply open it on my phone, so I'm gonna send it to myself. So just a second. Give me a second. And I will do it another way. There we go. Hopefully that'll work. I may be looking in the wrong part. Alright. While I do that, I'm gonna get the slides. Okay, let me make sure that I switch this. Okay, good. Alright. Okay. Sorry about the delay here. Okay. Oh, I was in the wrong section. Now I should be able to pull it open so I can see the chat. Alright, so today I'm going to be talking about... Oh, turn my sound off on my phone so I don't have an echo here. Alright. So I'll be talking about online stores, and I'll be talking about platforms, plugins, so if you use it on a WordPress site, and all the things with stores, and how to be successful with an online store, whether you're selling, physical products or digital, or if you're just doing, print on demand stuff, or you've got an inventory and that kind of thing. So, I'm Lisa Lee, in case you don't know, and I've been building websites and designing graphics for over 20 years. I've created a lot of different online shops over the years using a variety of different platforms, and I've used different marketplaces. I've used plugins on WordPress and different tools and things for that. I've done designs and stuff that I've put on products. I've done print-on-demand products, and yeah, so I've done a lot of different kinds of selling over the years. So some of this information is going to be based on experience, others on research, and basically a lot from ChatGPT, which has been helpful in getting some more up-to-date information, like statistics and different things like that, that can be helpful, and discovering some more platforms and tools that you can use. Okay, so in the first part of this class, I'm going to be talking about just an introduction to e-commerce platforms, and then we're going to take a break if needed, and then go into the next part, which is going to be talking about sales tax and marketing and payment processors and that kind of stuff. And then at the end, we can do a Q&A session and just kind of answer questions if there are any. So, first up is, what is an e-commerce platform? Well, it's simply a platform that allows your customers to be able to purchase from you through an online system. So it's going to handle everything, from the products displaying in the store to the payment processing, and allows them to add it to a cart and check out, putting in their payment details and all that kind of stuff. So the key functions of what a e-commerce platform is going to do is it's going to allow customers to be able to browse the products and place their orders and make their payments securely online. And it's going to allow them, allow you to be able to set up your inventory, set up shipping, set up your taxes, be able to capture and manage the customer information that you get. And then you can often automate some tasks as well, depending on the features of the platform. So there are some popular examples. Shopify is probably one of the most well-known. It probably due to all their marketing efforts, they have a lot of ads and stuff. They're designed to be user-friendly, scalable. They have built-in marketing tools, but their system is kind of expensive, especially if you need certain features, and to be able to get access to some of their tools and stuff, you may have to pay more to be able to get those. SureCart is something I only recently discovered, and it is an affordable, easy to use plugin. It works with WordPress, and it is a good alternative to WooCommerce, which is another plugin that works with WordPress. And so you can have a WordPress website and then use a shopping cart system, and it can be a bit less expensive depending on what setup you do than, say, using Shopify or one of these other systems like LaunchCart or one of the other ones. So LaunchCart is another alternative. They used to have a free tier. They don't anymore. I was looking into that and I was quite surprised that they took away their free tier. From what I could see, they only have a free trial now, which is only 2 weeks. And so that kind of took away one of the key points that I liked about that system. But they are a direct competitor to Shopify and try to include and offer features that in their basic plan that Shopify would normally charge you extra to have. And so that's something to note. But those are just a few examples. We'll talk about more in a bit. Okay, so in this part, I'm going to be talking about the different kinds of platforms. So I start off with these e-commerce platforms, and then I'm going to talk about, some of the other lesser known ones, and then that you may not have heard of, that you can actually often install to your hosting, your website hosting, and then some plugins. So I'll go more into this a little bit more. So the first thing to know about Shopify, is that it's kind of like a all-in-one kind of package. So when you go with, say, a system like Shopify, you can get a domain name with them. You host it with it. So that means if you understand with the website hosting and the domain name, as I covered in like the Websites 101, it's essentially all included with Shopify. So all you really have to do is, create an account, pay for a plan, and then you can start putting in your products and putting your shop together, and it's a pretty quick way to put together a professional looking online store platform. It has a lot of the features that you're going to be expecting from a online shop, so like your ability to have payment processing, so you'll have tools to be able to connect to different payment processing. You'll have marketing tools that they'll have, give you access to. You'll be able to do just a lot of different things. They have templates and stuff that you can choose from. And there's also, of course, designers and people that can customize a shop if you want something that's more tailored to your business and branding. It tends to get kind of expensive. Their plans start at like $29 a month. And if you need advanced features, as I had mentioned before, you may end up having to pay extra for those types of things. But Shopify is just one of one of the options that you have for online shopping cart platform. Shift4Shop is another solution. This one is not just a shop, but they are a payment processor. They have, an online shop solution. It has SEO tools built in, so that means search engine optimization. That's what SEO stands for. And, so it helps make your shop a little bit easier to find on the search engines because it's got those tools built in. It has customizable themes, of course, and then it has support for multi-channel selling. So multi-channel typically refers to selling on different platforms, so sometimes different marketplaces and stuff. That can be really useful. So reaching more people rather than just simply through your website, to also be able to offer your products through, say, Facebook or TikTok or different things like that. And then you have their payment processing side, which is available for U.S. businesses. And if you use that plan and you have a minimum of $1,000 per month in sales, then you can use their online shop at no charge. But if you don't, then it's $39 a month to do that. And so that is a option, to consider if you expect to have over $1,000 in online, on your going through your shop in online sales. And then LaunchCart, as I had mentioned before, they are a newer e-commerce platform. They are trying to compete with Shopify, so they're intentionally trying to include all the features that people like in Shopify that they don't want to have to pay extra for, and they're trying to include it in their basic plans. They don't have as many features because they're still developing and adding features to it, but it does have, some good points. You can have multiple shops and manage them from the same dashboard system and be able to switch the different shops and stuff from a simple drop down. And it's pretty user friendly, and easy to set up. One of the key things I've liked about LaunchCart is that they have direct integration with the print-on-demand systems Printify and Printful, and so they make it pretty easy to get those connected to have an online store. And then you can, pull in your products and also have, mix in other products as well that you may be offering, whether it's digital or physical products. They make it really easy to be able to sell everything all from one shop, or you can open up multiple shops. But their new pricing, it starts at $27 a month, so $2 cheaper than Shopify, but you end up paying that per store. And just like with, a normal Shopify plan, that's what LaunchCart is. So it's similar but different. But they do have some good features to consider. Now, there are other options. So the with LaunchCart, Shift4Shop, and Shopify, you can kind of think of them as an all-in-one kind of thing. So like I said, they're going to host the store for you. Now, if you want to host it yourself, you can get a web hosting plan and then install software on that, sort of like you would with WordPress. So with WordPress, you can host it anywhere. Well, with some of these other systems, like Magento, you can install it on the web hosting, usually through a little simple tool like you can with WordPress, if you use the little software thing, and then you look at their options for online stores, and then you simply, install it, and it would install a free one. The downside with doing it that way is it can be more technical, it can be harder to customize it, and it may lack in certain features and tools and marketing things. So you lose out on some things that would help you in the long run with your store, and it can be a little bit more technical to set up, but cheaper if you're looking for something that's less expensive than paying, and committing to $27 or $29 a month or more for running a store. BigCommerce is another one. They have their they have templates and payment processing and stuff, but I believe this one was designed for larger stores, but it's still another option. I do have more platforms listed on the website in the blog post on the best platforms to choose from. I would highly recommend checking that out because I put links to them and a lot more information about it, and kind of rate what they're best for, and I'll show you that in a bit. For some other options, though, that are kind of all in one, you may want to consider Squarespace. It's another platform. It's typically known for being a website builder, but they also offer e-commerce plans with tools that you can, use to manage your inventory, process payments, and market your store. And Wix is as well. In both Squarespace and Wix, they're pretty similar in the sense that they are designed to be user-friendly. They offer templates, and they have e-commerce features and things like that. But typically with both those options, you're going to be paying because they include hosting with theirs, like with Shopify and LaunchCart and stuff. You're going to be paying a monthly amount to have your website and shop with them. Now, there are some other alternatives, and so if you decide to go the WordPress route, you can lower your costs pretty significantly depending on what you go with and what you do. So I've got 3 really good, shopping cart options for online stores for a WordPress website. And the first one I want to talk about is SureCart. It is one that I only recently discovered, but it is a powerful e-commerce platform that you can simply add to your website, and it allows you to be able to sell products and digital, products, not just physical, but digital as well. And it also supports memberships and other things as well, making it even more versatile than some of the other options. It's pretty simple. It's got flexible features and stuff, so you can enable things that you need to make it work with what you want. And it supports the major payment gateways as well. So it's a better alternative than using WooCommerce. So I have WooCommerce on this list, but I also have Ecwid. Ecwid is another one to consider. The reason, Ecwid is on this list is that it is a multi-platform tool. So you can install it on a WordPress website, but you can also install it on a non-WordPress website. You can also use it for selling on other platforms like Facebook. And I can't remember all the platforms that they support, but you can manage your inventory from one place and be able to have it sent off, displaying on these other marketplaces to help increase the number of sales you get through their system. They have affordable plans. They have a free tier, but it's limited and only supports like 10 products, I believe, if I remember correctly. And it only allows you to have like either use it on a WordPress website or, have a little store that you put it on somewhere with another website like Wix or something. That's on their free plan. So if you want to do multiple sales channels or something, then you would have to get a paid plan and stuff. But they are a pretty easy to use system. It's pretty flexible. You can customize it and stuff, and it'll keep things pretty consistent, across the different sales channels and stuff. And they also include marketing too. So they have some marketing tools as well. So you can market on Google and Facebook and all that kind of stuff. Now, WooCommerce is one of the, the base plugin is free. Okay, that means you can install it on a WordPress website. There's no monthly subscription for that. But if you need certain features, or, say you want it to handle sales tax, it's not included. You have to get an add-on to be able to enable it to do certain things. Or say you need some sort of complex shipping setup. You have to pay an extra fee to get access to that functionality, and sometimes those features may be a subscription, or it may be a lifetime license or something to add that functionality. So it just it varies all across the board with that. WooCommerce also has some other notable side effects, is that it uses more resources. I tend to find that it will slow down a website. And so in order to get it to run efficiently, then you typically need to pay more for your hosting as well. So then you have to go to another website host and and set up your shop on there to make sure that it runs fast, especially if you expect, enough traffic to really be profitable. So you need to invest in more expensive hosting with that system. Just because it's more resource intensive, it's kind of like it's just got a lot of files and a lot of features into it that you may not necessarily need or use, and it's not as efficient as some of these other options that are designed to be more lightweight, more fast, they just have different different options. So you've got the free open source, which can kind of be bulky, and then you have the, more commercial software is what these other options are. Okay, so how do you know what to choose? Well, there's a lot of things to consider. First, you're going to have to consider what your budget is and what your long-term plans are. And if you're comfortable, being able to pay the, say, subscription costs for some of these platforms. So what's typically involved is not just the cost for hosting it, but also the cost for whatever features you need. There's transaction fees from every time a sale is made, and then any other things that you need done to it, say customization or special themes that you want to use or certain extensions or something like that. Then you have the level of customization that you're wanting in terms of, the design and functionality, which I also kind of touched on already. But depending on, if that customization is included in, the platform or the features or whatever you're choosing, it may go outside what their platform will allow you to do in the settings. So it may be something you might be able to adjust for free, just simply adjusting the settings, or it might be something that you end up having to pay extra for, whether from, their special development team to make some sort of customization. So say you have a product that you're trying to sell and it has certain options that you want offered on there that are not typical. That might be a rare thing to do, and so therefore you'd have to end up paying extra for that specific, function to be added. Then your product range, you need to kind of keep in mind what type of products you're trying to sell and make sure that the platform is going to allow you to sell that. And you also have to make sure that you have the number of products that you're going to sell is supported by whatever plan and platform you're going to go with. You also need to look at the payment integration, so what types of payment gateways you're planning on using. So if you want to accept payments through PayPal or Stripe or Square or Venmo or something like that, then you'll have to make sure that the platform supports those things. Then there's the shipping and taxes. So a lot of the e-commerce platforms will have some kind of setup for shipping and taxes. Some of the, the open source ones will typically be more technical and labor intensive compared to the commercial ones that have the subscriptions involved, where you're paying a monthly fee to get access to certain things. They'll usually include certain things like special shipping options that might automatically calculate the shipping. They may have automatic calculating, tax tools. So it'll automatically calculate whatever the sales tax will be based on the latest information. Whereas with some of the other options like WooCommerce, unless you're paying for those extra features, you'll have to put that information manually in and then keep it updated every quarter or however often it updates. And you may be limited in terms of what your shipping, options are for it as well. So all these things kind of, come into play when you're trying to decide what platform, you're wanting to go with. Now, another consideration, to take in is marketing tools. So some of the platforms will have marketing already built in, so it may have some sort of support for the, search engine optimization, so helping it be found in the search engines. Some may have email marketing tools built in. Some may have like Google Ads or something like that. different promotional tools. It may have little pop-up windows that you can make it pop up when a customer lands on the website. So there's different things. All the platforms are different. All their features are going to be different. And the ones I talked about are not the only ones. So I'll explain that in a little bit, and I'll show you a bit more about them. So what I would suggest is to start simple and look for the budget-friendly platform that you're going with, depending on what it is. If you're just starting a shop, you're not getting really any sales from it, then you're probably going to be wanting to test the waters. So find a solution that's going to be in your budget, that's going to, satisfy your needs in the present, and, that can support, your needs in the future. If your shop does well and grows and you have, more need for certain things like, say, shipping or tax calculations or something like that, so that it supports all those things, and marketing as well. All right, so typically with any kind of shop, there's, the basic process where you're just going to go in and add in the details for your products. You're going to set up your categories. You're going to set up tags. Some key things to make sure that you do with any of these platforms is to use really good product images. You want to write really good descriptions. And you're going to want to make sure that your products are organized in categories that make it easy for people to find and that are instinctive and very intuitive. So these things are going to help, so when people are browsing, they'll be able to make a good decision, based on what they see, to if they want to proceed and buy the product and stuff. So some of the key features of all of the platforms is that there's going to be some kind of inventory tools, way to manage the orders, and you'll be able to see what orders come in, that get the notifications for those orders, and you'll be able to, view the information that you need. All the platforms are going to kind of have all of this. They'll all, of course, vary in some ways in what they allow and what, information they provide, but the basic information will all be there, so you'll be able to, view and, see what orders come in, be able to process them, mark them shipped, and stuff. In some cases, some of the situation, maybe you're using print-on-demand products. And in those cases, if it's integrated with a system like Printful or something, then when an order comes in, Printful, gets that order because it gets connected to their system. They fulfill it and charge you for it, and the customer pays you for the order. And then the Printful would ship the product directly to the customer, and it's all pretty well automated. That's with a print-on-demand setup. In other cases, then you have to do it manually and mark those things and track your orders and process them and stuff as they get in. You'll need to also keep record of, how many products you have in stock, and it's important because if you don't, otherwise you may end up making sales for product that doesn't exist, and that can, cause you a lot of problems. And so you'll have to use the inventory tools with whatever platform you're using and make sure that it's, kept accurate. And then there's usually automation tools in some cases. Some of the platforms may have it where it might alert you if there's low stock, or that you need to restock it. And then others have like a real-time inventory. In the case of, say, like a print on demand and stuff, some of the systems may support that. So if a product gets canceled, they run out of a certain product or whatever, it won't allow it to get ordered and stuff. It just depends on the platform and what features they support and allow with their integrations with different suppliers and stuff. So some great ways that you can save time and reduce problems is just having automation used wherever possible, and using inventory management tools to help keep on top of things. All right, now, before we go to break, sorry, my nose is itchy for some reason. All right, I need to switch, I think, to here. All right, let me pull this up. I gotta find it now. I'm gonna pull it up and I'm gonna show you some of the things here that I was talking about. So I want to go back. All right. Sorry, my nose is just itchy today. Okay. This back. All right. So this is just the post I put up yesterday about it. So as you can see, I've got the top shopping cart platforms. They're not necessarily ordered in any particular way, but I did put Shopify as number one because that's one of the most well-known. The best is going to depend on your purpose and your budget and all these kinds of things. I have at the bottom, if you keep scrolling, so itchy. Keep scrolling. Okay, so the cheapest and easiest, because that's typically what I think people would want to know, is these are the solutions that I think are the cheapest and easiest based on the latest information. So we've got SureCart, that's that WordPress plugin that it is free up to $1,000 in sales, so you can use their free tier, and then their plans start at only $19 a month compared to, say, $27 or $29 with like Shopify or LaunchCart. But you're also paying for the hosting of it, so it ends up, costing a bit more than some of those other options, but it depends on all the features that you get and need. However, the positive thing is that SureCart allows you to use AI. If you use ZipWP to generate a website, you can have it include the e-commerce platform, and it will include SureCart with the website that it generates for you, and then you can have an instant website. And so then it will automatically be installed and ready to go, and then you can put in your products and finish the setup with SureCart. So that is a positive thing with that system. So it's going to do a lot of the design and everything with you, with AI, and save some time and generate all that content for like your about page, and it can help generate content for your FAQs and your policies for like returns and shipping and that kind of stuff. So that's a positive thing with that. So it can save you some time and effort going that route. Ecwid is another great option. Their pay plans start at only $21 a month. So it's a little bit more than SureCart, but the downside is that you still need to host a website somewhere. So that might be on WordPress, but it might be on one of the other platforms. You could use a Wix website or something and add it on there. You could, put it virtually anywhere, because you're putting in their, it just embeds it on a website. So it's kind of like you'll have a page and you can, pop in this little store and allow people to buy from it. They also have a WordPress plugin that you can use, and it will connect to your store, and it makes it pretty easy to do that. Oh yeah, so it allows you to sell across like Facebook and Instagram and mobile. So they have like an app as well. They also have advertising tools, so you can use Google, Facebook, Snapchat, Pinterest, and TikTok. And so that makes it stand out from some of these others. Their free plan, though, only supports 10 products, and like I said before, it's limited. And so you can only have like you can only embed it somewhere on a website. And, 10 products is not a lot depending on, the type of thing that you're selling and what you're trying to do. But it's generally easy and generally, pretty simple, straightforward to do, and allows you to kind of manage your products from kind of one place, and it'll connect and update to the other platforms for you. Wix is another option. It's good for beginners. Drag and drop interface is good. Allows you to, pretty easily put together an online store. Their plans for the e-commerce features start at $23 a month, so it's still less than Shopify, and it beats LaunchCart as well. So it's another option that you could potentially go with. Squarespace is another one. They have the same pricing, apparently. I'll have to double check on that, but they have, the similar feature and setup to Wix. I think they're basically like a competitor to Wix, but it allows you to do pretty much the same kind of thing. I just don't think I like Squarespace as much as I do Wix, so I think Wix would be better than Squarespace, but that's just personal preference. Now, there's the online marketplaces, which are like Etsy and eBay. You also have Amazon sellers, but Amazon sellers, can be a little bit harder to get into. But with Etsy, it's pretty straightforward. You don't have a monthly plan per se, unless you pay $10 for plus features. What they do is they charge you per listing that you put up. So each product listing that you have on there, they will charge you for, plus transaction fees with that. But the positive thing with either of, Etsy or eBay is that while you're paying, a bit more for certain things, you have access to their customer base, which is massive. So instead of having an individual shop where you have to spend a lot more in marketing to get it in front of people, to get your product seen, you have the advantage of using, their system where people may type in a product and stuff and browse and find your products among, a bunch of others, of course. But if yours stand out, then you'll potentially get more sales than you would perhaps on a little website that's standing off by itself. Compared to some of these other marketplaces. So that's the advantage with those. You can also use your own website and use that to get even more sales. But in either case, you can have a little storefront on these platforms, which can help you make sales. It's just, the fees, can add up. And so when you're pricing everything, it can be challenging to calculate everything. But it's still worth considering, as an online shop alternative. Weebly is another option. They have plans starting at $12 a month. They're one of the cheaper options. It gives you some, just a basic store with basic features. It's probably not as good as some of the other options, but it is a lower cost plan that has, it's good for smaller product range. It has pretty basic payment processing, so nothing too fancy. So some of these other options you may have more success with because they may have marketing and stuff and certain features that, convert better or whatever, but it's still a low budget, option to consider, depending on your needs. Now, I've got other lists, so some platforms are better for selling digital products, some are better for selling physical, some are good for subscriptions, some, are better for customization. And then we've got print on demand. Both LaunchCart and Shopify are good for print on demand because they integrate very easily, but that doesn't mean the other ones can't. There just might be a little bit more setup involved. It just kind of depends. And then there's some other options. So if we go back up, I have more platforms for you to consider. So this is just there's BigCommerce, and then there's let's see, Big Cartel, and then Volusion. So there's just more options for you to consider So OpenCart, that's like Magento, where you have to have your own hosting. So I have it marked with self-hosting there. Belusion, they start at 35, and they have good features in some cases, like easy to use builder and stuff, but that's pretty common. They have built-in SEO, that's pretty common and stuff. So their prices, higher, their features are more limited. But, it may be a good option just to explore if that's something that you are looking for. But I've got a lot of platforms on here, including Sellfy. Sellfy is for, digital and physical products. But their plans, start at 22 a month and stuff. They have pretty good system with marketing tools and stuff like email marketing and stuff. It's especially designed for digital products. Great for selling ebooks and design assets and different things like that. Let's see. And anyway, this blog post is there so you can explore it and you can check out what is going to be best for you and your needs and stuff. For physical products, which is pretty common, you may want to consider, the top 4 that I would suggest is SureCart, Shopify, LaunchCart, and eBay shops. But, there's the other options as well. It all depends. There's a lot of things to consider, too. So it's going to depend on, the exact things that you're trying to sell, is what it comes down to. Because if you have particular needs for certain options to be available, certain previews or something of the product, it could be a bunch of different things. Some may support allowing you to request specific information from a client. So say you're trying to do custom, like some sort of customizable product. Some platforms may not have the option to add additional fields to get information from the customer before they order. So there's different things that you may need that may not be available on all the platforms. So you have to kind of explore and kind of check out which ones are going to work for you and consider the cost. And, and make sure that the features that you want are included. And if there's something else that you need, then you may end up having to pay more for that. And so it's good to know before you sign up for their services. Because there may be options that, say, for example, WordPress may have an option through WooCommerce that allows you to do a lot of customization. But these other systems may not. So it just varies. And so it's a big decision. So make sure to research it, but I've tried to put together this information to help you make that decision. I have a lot on here. It's too much to kind of go over at this stage, but I think we've, covered a lot. It's something to, definitely look into. So, whether you host it, with a web hosting somewhere, you can get low-cost web hosting and then put a shopping cart system on there. But if you get WooCommerce, then you may need, to go with something like Hostinger or SiteGround, because those are designed for running WooCommerce and stuff. So it's going to run faster, more securely, and stuff like that. Generally, at least according to them, because their systems are designed for it to better handle it, and compared to a lower cost hosting option, and where you can use SureCart and stuff. So if you just end up going to SureCart, you can see, let me see, where's their demo? They should have a demo in here somewhere. Hopefully I can find it. Let's see. But yeah, you can see some of them have like bundles and different features that can help you sell. So these are just kind of different things to keep in mind as you consider things. And you also need to consider your marketing as well. I'll go more into marketing and payment processors and stuff like that in the next half. Because it's very important. Because if you want to have an online store and you want it to be successful, then there are certain things you're going to have to do, and in order to achieve that. Alright, let me go back here. Alright, so I think we can probably go ahead and take a short break for a minute if needed. Otherwise I can continue. Want to see if I can. Oh, I can't find anything. My nose is just itchy today. It's driving me crazy. Alright, alright, so I guess we can continue on, unless there's any questions or anything. Alright, so go ahead and start. Alright, so one of the key things that you need to have with an online store is a payment gateway. Payment gateways are, secure payment processing services. So for example, there's companies like PayPal. That's one of the bigger known, ones. Stripe is a very popular one. Square is another one you might have heard of before. All of them have a job. They take the credit card information and debit card information or whatever, payment that the customer submits. They take that information and then they handle it. They process it on their secure servers that they have, secure systems and requirements that they're by law required to follow in order to handle that customer information to prevent it from being stolen. And they basically act as a sort of bridge that connects your customer's payment to your business bank account. And they help bridge that gap. So they provide the security that you need to be able to handle online payments without having to, invest in heavy security on your website. So you can use a free SSL certificate on your website, and they're handling the payment processing portion of it, where they have the SSL encryption required, the big level of it, the strongest level for handling those transactions. Now, all of them are going to charge some sort of transaction fee. Typically, they're going to have some sort of fee that it ranges from 2 to 3%. Sometimes there's also a 30-cent fee or something like that in addition, or in place of, it depends on, how much the sale is. But typically there's some sort of minimum charge they're going to charge you for that transaction. Now, if you give a customer a refund, they're still going to charge you because they want their money. That's just how it is. And they're going to have different payout speeds. Some are going to do it faster than others. And, some may have, different requirements when they have you sign up. And so you may have to submit your business information, like your business license and stuff like that. Others may not be as picky. It just depends on, the payment processing, platform and their policies and stuff. And so that's kind of, a brief introduction to it. Now, some of the popular ones, as I mentioned before, you've got Stripe and PayPal and Square. There's also Venmo. There are also some buy now, pay later options, like Afterpay and Klarna. Those are good because buy now, pay later can actually lead to more sales, because customers who may look at the, their shopping cart total, and they may really want to buy, but they may not have the funds on hand. So that's where Afterpay and Klarna can come in really handy. So if you can find a platform that supports those options, it can help you get more sales, because they will take care of the collecting the payments, the split payments from the customers, and you get paid. So that's some of the benefit with that option. And so it's definitely worth looking into if that is something that you would like, especially in this economy. All right, then you have cryptocurrency payments. Crypto is, in case you don't know what it is, it's like things like Bitcoin, which is perhaps one of the terms that has been very popular in, in the news and everything. So perhaps you've heard of it, but you may not know what it is. I'm not going to try and describe it because I can't, but you can kind of think of it as invisible coins that, are exchanged between people. And these things, they come in different forms and stuff. You have things called Ethereum, and then you've got the meme coins, which have crazy characters and different things like that, and have different values and stuff. And if you exchange them for US dollars, so if you sold them for, money, you can buy and sell them for, US dollars, and then you can trade them among people. Of course, it's a big tax issue, but it can be a way of collecting payment for, products and services, and allowing people to be, anonymous in some cases with, buying and selling and stuff. So that's some of the attraction with it. So there's some privacy with it, but it is for very tech savvy customers, typically speaking. But it is an option, to have a cryptocurrency payment option with some online shopping cart systems. So I believe LaunchCart supports cryptocurrency, or a cryptocurrency payment option, but I'm not 100% sure if they still do or not. But it's something to consider if that's something that you're interested in. All right. So typically with any of the platforms, they will have some means of attaching your account to a payment gateway. Now, one of the payment gateways, may have a similar, the payment gateway integration varies, okay? But they typically have, a basic way of doing it, where you give permission to the payment processor that you sign up for. Like, you give permission for the platform that you use to access the your payment processing account. Some of the platforms are easier to set up than others, is what I'm trying to say. And so the ways of doing it vary. A lot of platforms, LaunchCart and Shopify, are typically going to make that very easy. A lot of the other platforms, the commercial ones, are going to make it easy. WooCommerce makes it fairly easy because they have a lot of different extensions and stuff like that. But in any case, you're going to try to connect whatever platform you use to your payment processor, and it may be something simple with a few clicks, or there may be something more involved, and it just varies. So say you have a Stripe account, and then you have a payment processor. If it doesn't have like a simple integration connection that it can make with it, then you may have to go and get some crazy settings from here in the settings for your payment processor hidden in their account or whatever, and then copy and paste those things into the payment, into the platform, is what I'm trying to say. So it can be kind of complex. In most cases, it's probably going to be pretty simple. But either case, with the payment processor, you're going to put in your business bank account and routing number somewhere in there, and you have to put in all your legal business information, your, name, personal details. You have to give all of that to the payment processor, and you'll probably also have to give, a bunch of information, not your banking details probably, to the payment gateway. With some of the payment, like to the platform. Sorry, I'm getting all this a little crazy. I'll try and simplify it though, if I can manage to. So with the platform that you go with, whatever it might be, whether it's Shopify or WooCommerce or one or the other ones and stuff, they'll usually have some sort of wizard that will walk you through what to do, and they'll usually alert you, hey, you need to add in your, payment details. And then it will either, ask you to copy and paste some information from it, or have you click something and then, log in, and then it will have it confirm, and prompt you, do you authorize this platform to access your payment processor information? In which case, then you click agree, and then it will connect to it. In some cases, it may be more complicated than that. So it's just going to kind of vary. But either way, you're going to end up putting information in both of them and then trying to connect whatever setup you use. You can use multiple payment gateways with platforms a lot of times. So sometimes you can use PayPal and offer credit cards, and sometimes they support Apple Pay or Google Pay or whatever. They have different options that you can set up, and in either, in whatever you do, you'll end up having to integrate all these different things with that. But if there's a particular payment gateway processing thing that you want to use, say for example you want to use something like Cash App or Venmo, then you need to make sure that the platform is going to support that. So that's one of the key things. So if that's part of your marketing strategy, or that's what your customers are going to want to use when they check out, then you need to make sure that your platform supports those things, or has an extension available that will allow you to do that. You also have to pay very close attention to whatever the transaction fees are, and they may change them in the future at some point in time. Who knows? I'm sure they've increased over the years. But typically it's what I had said before. It's typically going to be 2 to 3% per transaction, and they'll usually have some sort of base charge of like 30 cents or something as a minimum. But you'll have to, adjust your pricing to take those things into account to make sure that you're still profitable. Alright, so that's enough about payment gateways. Let's talk about sales tax. So sales tax, the rates are going to, of course, vary state to state, and it's going to vary by county and city level as well. And if you are going to be shipping, physical products, then the sales tax is going to be dependent on where that product is shipped. So if it is shipped to, another state, and, you're in one state, then you may not have to worry about collecting sales tax on that particular order. I'm not a tax expert, but that's my understanding of it, but don't sue me. I don't know for certain, but that's my understanding of it. If you make a certain number of sales in that state, then you would have to start collecting sales tax and sending it to them. It's going to depend on each state. So if you're doing your sales within, your own state, then you're going to be doing your, monthly sales tax reports and collecting the sales tax based on wherever the product is shipped, and adding up all those, sales tax rates for the city, the county, and the states. States rates. And you have to make sure that you update those as they are usually changing every, so often. Now, thankfully, there are tax tools that can help to simplify it and automate some of the calculations. It is going to vary by a platform. The more open source ones are probably going to be more manual, but may offer some kind of way to use a tool like TaxJar or Avalara to automate the tax calculations. So then they will handle figuring out what the tax rate should be that the customer should be charged, saving you a lot of headaches. But they typically have an extra charge to use those types of services as well, so that's something that you'd have to factor into your costs. Some of the big platforms might offer that, they'll usually have integration with those services or something similar. And then they may offer that to you for one price to use the platform or something. And so it may be one of the included features. So it's something to consider when you are trying to choose a platform. So that's something else to factor in. All right, so a bit more about the out-of-sales sales tax, the out-of-state sales tax, I should say. So, in most cases, you will have to meet some sort of threshold. It's usually based on the sales revenue in that state, or it could be based on the number of transactions. It's going to vary depending on the state, so you'll have to just kind of pay attention to how many sales you're getting and how much those sales are, and look into what the state laws on it are for wherever you're shipping a lot to. Now, typically, it's apparently 100,000, but I would not. This information is from ChatGPT, and so I think I've seen values where it could be 10,000, but I'm not 100% sure, so it's something you have to look into. So you have to check into the specific laws and see what they say. But typically you won't have to worry about it unless you're making a lot of sales to them. Now, digital products, may or may not have to be taxed. It depends on the state. In Oklahoma, digital products are not. But it's possible that the laws could change, but as far as I'm aware, it's not. But with physical products, you do have to pay, you have to end up dealing with a sales tax. And it's based on where the products are shipped to. Now, some of the tools have built-in sales tax calculators, and then, but with like WooCommerce, if you go with the free option, without having to pay a subscription and stuff, you have to manually update the sales tax rates, and that can be a headache because you have to take the table that they give you and then try and put it into format that WooCommerce will accept and then upload it and stuff. So it can be kind of a headache to try and deal with, and if you overcharge or undercharge, that could be a problem. So for sales tax, so it's something that you need to really use a built-in, tax compliance type service. So it's something that's going to help calculate it and keep better track of it for you, especially with changes. All right, so some of the best things that you can do to ensure that you're dealing with sales tax properly is to use the automatic tax calculation tools, whatever you can, find for the platform that you choose. It is definitely worth investing in the automatic calculated ones like the tax jar and stuff. You'll also want to make sure that you're managing and, you're monitoring your sales thresholds, so you're checking what states you're shipping a lot to and stuff. Make sure you're abiding by the sales tax obligations and laws there. And, so generally keep up to date with all the tax regulations in the regions where you're selling, and then especially even for out-of-state sales and how that's supposed to be handled. You want to use reporting tools to help track your sales and generate reports so that you'll have that ready for your taxes when you need to file. And if you want to remove the headache of having to deal with sales tax, then use a marketplace. So if you don't want to have to deal with collecting sales tax from your customers, that's where eBay, Etsy, Amazon, those types of platforms will deal with that for you, because they've been legally required to for several years now, I believe, where they have to collect it and then, based on wherever the product's getting shipped. So they end up having to deal with it, and the customers are charged the sales tax, and they deal with that for you. So you don't have to collect it in that case if you use those marketplaces. Okay, so as you're trying to run an online store, some of the things you need to understand is that you have to have realistic expectations. So simply having an online store doesn't mean you're going to automatically get sales. Plenty of people start online stores and plenty of people don't make sales. So you have to be doing consistent marketing in order to get traffic to the store. And of that traffic, only 1 to 3% of that traffic might buy. So the average rate for conversion rates for e-commerce stores is 1 to 3%, but for print-on-demand stores, where say you have a line of products like shirts or something like that, and then you're using Printful or Printify or something like that, the conversion rate is only like 1 to 2%. So that means, for 1 to 3%, you might have 3 people out of 100 that buys something. And for print on demand, you might only have 1 to 2 people out of 100 that buys. So it's something to definitely keep in mind as you go to try to market your online store and just have it in general. So there's all kinds of things that will also influence your sales too, and that's like the general sales trends for whatever you're selling. And then you have holidays and seasons, and then just other external things like other events and things that can also impact your sales. So things that are completely unpredictable as well. And so while you're trying to budget and plan and try and calculate and estimate what kinds of sales you can expect, so you can figure out, well, what kind, what should my sales revenue be, 6 months from now, or whatever, how much should I be making? Is this platform going to be suitable, etc., for my budget and costs and stuff? These things can impact all of that. And then not only that, you also have the products you're selling and how, the market responds to those. And then the images that you use, the descriptions, the product titles, and the shop design, your policy for refunds and returns and exchanges and shipping times. All those things are all going to influence, your sales conversion rate and how many things you end up selling through your store. So these things can all influence. And so your conversion rate may be 1 to 3%. It might be higher. It's going to depend on a lot of different factors and how people respond, and if they find that your product is valuable enough to buy. To kind of help you get more sales, it's important to know who your audience is. So their demographics, figure out what their purchasing behavior is, what days and times that they're typically going to be buying products and stuff. Where are they online? What social media platforms are they using? What search engines? Are there specific marketplaces that they're browsing looking for specific products and stuff? So these things can help you identify what platform to use, what marketplaces you might want to use, what marketing strategies. And then another thing that you can ask yourself is what specific problem or need your products will do solve for them and stuff. So what will it help with? Sorry, I have a cat and it's distracting me. He's decided he wants attention. Alright, so by understanding what your customer's problem is, what your product solves, that will help to identify, ways that you can market it, how to word your product title and description and stuff like that. That can help affect the decision that they make. You also have to consider the priorities. So, for example, what is going to matter most to them. So, in a bad economy, people are going to be prioritizing needs like food, shelter, those types of things. But there may be also other things that can influence them. So say they may really want your product, but maybe the price doesn't seem right to them. Maybe the quality they're worried about, or they want something that is of a, maybe they just want something cheap. Maybe they want something that's high quality. for like a gift or something, or just in general. It might be something related to convenience, or green energy, sustainability type things, or maybe it's based on brand. You can do different things to help market your products to help increase your conversion rate and stuff with these things in mind by, highlighting how your product will address whatever it is that they're shopping for. You can also identify the barriers that prevent them from purchasing. So perhaps it's cost, where you could use the split payment options like Klarna as a way to help do that. And it can be especially helpful with the holidays coming up. So offering that kind of split payment option may get someone, may alleviate that barrier that's preventing them from buying, to go, oh, hey, I can split my payments and that will work for me, and then they'll buy from you. Whereas maybe they wouldn't have otherwise. You can also use a really good description, which would alleviate, some uncertainty about the product, or maybe have reviews of the product through like video testimonials or something like that. That can help alleviate some uncertainty. You can also use videos of the product, and depending on the platform, it might allow you to include videos, or it might allow you to include links to something like YouTube videos or something like that, where you can show the product in more detail and give like a demonstration of it. That can help alleviate some uncertainty and help them to make that decision to buy. If the platform is too complicated for people to use, for example, that could make it difficult for people to buy. So you want something that's going to be easy for them to use, easy for them to navigate, easy for them to just browse and find what they want, and to be able to go, oh, okay, and that's not going to take up a lot of time or cause them to wonder what they're doing and what they're supposed to do to be able to buy the thing. So you can also use FAQs and as I mentioned before, customer testimonials and descriptions and stuff. These things can address a lot of the hesitation that customers may have when you are trying to advertise your products. And so having clear, policies shown, okay, if the product is broken or something like that, if you have a problem, here's the return policy. How do you return the product? Who pays the shipping for returns? Who pays the, exchange, shipping for exchanges, and those kinds of things. What happens if it's a gift? So all these things, people would like to be able to know, and so having that information on the website will help to comfort them and help them, to feel more confident when they're making a purchase. You want to make sure that you're speaking in a way that resonates with them, and what they're valuing, and what their priorities and everything like that. You want to make sure that it's going to be suitable to their style. So you may have, if you're targeting, say, younger people versus older people, you may have different language or slang or something like that, or use a different style of writing. These things can help to change how your product appears to certain your target audience and stuff. So you want to make sure that it's going to be practical, informative, and if it generates an emotion, that's good. But the main thing is to provide enough information that people are able to confidently make a purchase and feel that they can trust you to provide a quality product, and that they'll be satisfied with the purchase after. Okay, so some of the marketing channels. So marketing's super important. You want to make sure that not only is your product on your website, it's got a good picture, it's got a good title, good description, all of that. You want to make sure that the platform or the website that it's on is SEO friendly. So it's going to be able to have organic traffic. So if people are looking for the product, they'll be able to find it. You'll want to make sure that the product descriptions have the keywords that they'll be looking for, and the tags and stuff in the back end. I go into SEO and stuff in the marketing stuff in more detail on that, which would apply in this case as well. You can also use blogs and blog content to talk about related topics, which can help bring traffic as well. You want to use social media, of course. You can use Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, all those kinds of things, whatever platform that your target audience is on, to have, engaging content, and you can run some inexpensive ads targeting your audience. As I had talked about with the marketing class, the organic posts on social media do not perform well. I don't think it is going to provide a lot of value. It takes a lot of time to do, especially consistently, and to do valuable posts. So you'll really want to do that if you have a large audience, but if you don't, it's not going to really help. Your posts are not going to really be seen organically. So the only way to get your posts seen and get your pages, get likes on your pages and stuff like that, is to invest in the social media advertising. But it can be a way to promote your products on the social media platforms, and depending on what it is and the your budget and everything like that you choose to go with for how many clicks and stuff and how much exposure and your targeting settings for the social media platforms, because you can target different demographics. The cost will vary, but you could try to do inexpensive ads and try out different things and potentially get some results from that. You can also use email marketing. So building an email list, you engage with your customers. You can use, newsletters, perhaps sent once a month or, more frequently. Usually too frequent is, often ignored, but you can do, occasional emails, and those can be well received. And you may get, maybe 20% open rate or something like that. I talk more about, marketing in the other ones, other videos and other class. But it still applies with this. It can help with your online store, and especially if you're launching a new product and adding that to your line, it can be a great way to notify customers, and it gets one of the highest return on investment marketing channels. So it's one of the best ways to reach people. Then you can use paid ads, as I mentioned before, with social media, but also on like Google or Bing and stuff, and set a low budget, and $5 a day and stuff can make a difference, and then you can go up and down based on how well that does. Now, if you're looking for free and low cost strategies, you can always use contests or giveaways. So people are going to love free stuff, and it can be a great way to get more awareness and get exposure by doing that. So offering a free product or a range of products or some kind of gift card or some kind of prize or money or something like that, offering some sort of incentive can get people to give you their email address, so you can add them to an email marketing campaign. Or you can simply just get them to like or share a page or whatever, your social media, to give you more exposure and build up an audience that you can repeatedly, market to over time. And so it can be a good way to get some exposure. So the other option with doing this free type of marketing is using a free digital product. So that may be a guide, an ebook, or maybe some sort of coupon or something like that, where you capture their email address and again use it for your email marketing. Very useful, and it can be very effective. It definitely can capture email addresses by having some sort of incentive, free download or something like that, or a discount or something in exchange for that email address, and allows you to market to them repeatedly over time. make sure that whatever you're offering is valuable to them so that they will want to sign up. There are different landing page builders and stuff like that. You can use sales funnels and different tools depending on the platform and stuff that you choose to go with. But it is a possible strategy that you can use pretty, cheaply, depending on what tools and platforms you go with. All right, so for paid social media ads, I already talked about it a bit before, but the benefit to it is that you don't necessarily have to invest in a lot, and you can do different things. You can run it for short periods of time and see how it does, if it gets you more sales or not, gets you more website traffic. Sorry, cat. A lot of platforms will allow you to do different testing to see what's going to work, and you don't have to, well, the platforms will vary on what minimum budget you can use, but sometimes you can spend like $20 and run a short campaign and find out what's working, what doesn't, and get pretty fast results to see. And then you can also use influencers and user-generated video reviews. So if you give some free products, or you get, you sell some products or whatever, and you get people to give you a review in video form, it can help a lot with getting more sales, because video tends to do better than simply text alone, and can outperform images as well. So having that video, a genuine video review, can go a long way. If you can get an influencer to do it, like a micro influencer, they tend to have a higher engagement rate, and conversion rate, than some of the other larger influencers. But you could potentially give them a free product and get some sort of, review from them. But typically, to manage that, you probably will need to build up a relationship with them beforehand, and then, try to get them to review your product. It can kind of depend. So if you're willing to pay them for this review and give them a free product or something like that, then they'll probably be willing to do it. But if you're trying to go with a lower cost option and try to do it, cheaper, then you'll probably need to befriend them in some way, and make it something that is mutually beneficial, is what I'm trying to say. Alright, so some of the other strategies you can use, as I mentioned before, is with email marketing. You have to make sure that you have a clear call to action, so that people understand what they need to do, and then that can help to get you more, views and, on your website, and then potentially more sales, and getting repeat customers as well. So it can, one of the power, ways email marketing works is the repeated exposure. I'll go a little bit more into that a little bit later, but it's one way to get your product in front of people over and over again. Whether or not they open it is another question, but it can be an effective tool, a proven effective tool to do, especially if you can avoid the spam folder. But I'll have a class on that later. Okay, so you want to make sure that you leverage SEO so you can get the free organic traffic from the search engine, so that if people are looking for your product or information on it, that they'll be able to find your website. I would recommend, using long tail keywords, because a lot of short keywords are going to be too hard to compete for and you won't be able to rank for. But if you target some of the longer keywords and you do it right, you could potentially get higher up in the search engine, where people find you naturally just searching, the web. You can use different keyword tools to do that, so you can identify the low competition keywords, and you can use free tools that can help you optimize your website, or you can pay for tools that will help make your website more ready to be ranked in the search engines. All right, some other strategies is you need to try to use like promotions or discounts. Of course, these are common tactics, so like offering free shipping. Some, in some cases, people have free shipping, but you have to spend a certain minimum amount to get that free shipping. You may have limited time discounts that can create, strategies that, create scarcity or urgency, can make people want to buy in that moment because they are afraid of having to pay more later if they don't. You can also offer bundled offers that, can also, give special deals and discounts that can encourage people to buy. Especially if you're trying to sell, certain products, and then you can bundle some together and say, if you buy 3, you can do this. Some of the platforms may or may not support those types of things. So that's also something to keep in mind. So if you choose like say WooCommerce or something, you may have to pay extra to get some of those features to be able to do something like that. Some of the other platforms may, say, oh yes, you can do that, but you have to pay extra. So you want to make sure that whatever your strategy is for marketing and now and in the future, that whatever you choose is going to support that. So super important to consider that. So if you are able to show, only 3 left in stock or something like that, or sale ends today, that can help get people to buy. And so, you'll have to try and work your strategies into whatever platform you choose to go with and what fits in your budget and your needs and everything like that. But it can definitely help you get some sales in that way. It's also important to try to use marketing tactics in your materials and graphics and posts and things like that. One of the things I've learned is that if you use exact numbers, it tends to perform better. So I put an example, I saved $244. If you put a number like that, or a number, something that doesn't have zeros after it, it tends to get more, I guess it's probably perceived as more authentic, is probably the thing, than saying, I saved $200. Well, I saved $244, dollars. It seems to probably be perceived as more trustworthy to have the more specific number than the more rounded up number. Repetition, is often required before people will be ready to buy. Now, years ago, while studying marketing and stuff, I found out that it can take a person 7 times of seeing something before they'll be ready to, buy or take action on that thing. So, having repeated exposure, and that's where email marketing can really come into play. So having that, repeated email going out, of different content, of value, preferably, not just an ad, but something that provides value that will get them to open it and want to look at it, and then seeing the brand and seeing the product and going, oh okay, it helps to build trust over and over again. And the more times something is said, for some reason, the more it is accepted later. So just a weird psychological trick, I guess. All right, another marketing tactic is to use AI. So you can use ChatGPT, very powerful tool. It can help you write headlines. It can help you write product titles and descriptions and come up with tags to put on your products and stuff. That will help get it seen and presented very professionally. And you can have it write in different styles. You can have it write in, focusing on SEO and keywords and stuff like that with different prompts. But you can use tools like that to help to craft the, copy for your website in your products and stuff for your store. And it can go a long way, and it can help you come up with FAQ questions. You can ask it, what are some common FAQ questions? And then, say, okay, come up with answers for those questions, you can tell it to generate whatever it is that you want it to do, and it will probably be able to do it. It may take some revisions, and you'll want to, make sure that the information is good and accurate for your business, but it can save you a lot of time and effort and go a long way in empowering your online store with some, great information that'll help get you more sales. Okay, so you'll of course want to track and adjust, and so you can use analytics tools, Google Analytics or other analytics tools. A lot of platforms will have some sort of way to monitor the traffic going to your website. You'll have, reports for how many sales come through and those kinds of things. And then you can, track the dates and times and things like that you do your different campaigns. So if you're paying for ads or whatever, you can see what's working, what's not, and then you can adjust your strategy based on those things as you get the data to work with. You can test out, of course, different things. So you'll want to test out different landing pages, different images, different headlines and content to see what converts and what doesn't. And you'll be able to see kind of what works best for your target audience over time. Now, on average, it's found that online stores, like small ones, are going to spend about 10 to 30% of their revenue on advertising. And, the best strategy is to start small and track what, your return on investment is, and then adjust your plan from there. All right, so we are about done, but I do have some more things I can show you. All right, so as far as this goes, let's see, what was I talking about now? Oh, yes. All right, so we were talking about right platform. So you want to make sure that you start with a platform that's going to meet your budget and your needs. So, consider all the different ones that you can choose from. Figure out, okay, do you want something that's going to be simple, all-in-one solution? Or do you want something that's more low budget that you host yourself? Do you want something that has, a lot of marketing features? Do you want something that supports different sales channels that you can sell across Facebook and everything at the same time? So all these types of things you have to decide and choose the platform that's going to have those features and be able to support the marketing strategy that you want to use with your online store, because you have to market your store in order to get it to get sales, and you have to market it consistently. And so a lot of platforms have a lot of great tools, and some have sales funnels, some have different features. It all varies. So you'll end up having to explore and try and figure out what platforms are going to work best for you. And then you also have to consider what payment processors are going to be what your target audience is going to want. And so you have to make sure that your payment, processor is going to be supported by the platform and offer integration. So you want something that's going to be easy for you to connect to and not have a difficult setup. So it's just kind of going to have to vary, based on your needs. But a lot of the payment processors will support Stripe, PayPal, and those are the two major ones that most of them are going to support. Some of them might support Square and stuff, but generally I've always seen Stripe and PayPal as being the two major ones that get some of the best support. Stripe is a general business credit card processor, so it handles the major credit card payments and just handles the payments, and then it direct deposit it into your bank account. That's all it does, basically. And so it just connects to whatever platform you're using, and then you put in your business information and connect your bank account to it, put your bank details or whatever, and then you're good to go. PayPal is pretty straightforward as well. You connect your bank account and stuff to it as well, and you put in your bank information and connect the platform to it. Some of the, as I said before, sometimes the platforms can be complicated to try and connect to the payment processors, but I think of late, a lot of them have simplified it. So that's a good thing. So you could probably do it yourself pretty simply, because usually they'll have some sort of easy, thing to click or whatever, and allow you to log in or whatever, and it will prompt you and walk you through it. So it should be pretty straightforward most of the time. But it's going to depend on the payment processor and the platform that you choose. So, and how will they decide to play together. All right, you want to make sure you use consistent marketing. That's where you're using your social media and email marketing and paid ads and stuff that will help increase your store visibility. Organic posts, though, again, on social media just do not perform well unless you already have a large audience. If you're just building an audience, you're going to have to use paid ads, but you can also use, the marketing strategies like, contests and stuff like that to help increase your visibility and brand overall. And, that can help. But the key thing is consistency and, keeping the ads going, because otherwise it will fizzle out and then you'll stop getting traffic. You'll have to also measure and adjust, so you have to pay attention to your analytics and track, what's converting, what's not, and, just generally improve everything over time as you, come to know what's, working for your store. I do have some interesting statistics to share with you. These are, again, from ChatGPT, so I can't vouch for how accurate they are, but according to ChatGPT, the global e-commerce sales, are expected to reach 6.3 trillion. So it's something that, is increasing. So a lot of people are still buying online, and that's probably not going to go away anytime soon. Print on demand is also something that's growing. It's expected to grow 26.1% annually until 2030 at least. A lot of people are buying online. Most sales are now from, people using smartphones or tablets. And so it's, you'll need to make sure that your online store is mobile friendly and that, you may want to consider having an e-commerce app, if it's something that you expect a lot of repeat customers through. But in general, you probably could just get away with, just having a mobile-friendly website. But of course, it depends on what you're selling. Abandoned cart rates. So on average, 69.8% of shopping carts are abandoned. So people will add products to their online shopping cart and then leave and not buy. And so if you have the, feature in that platform to contact those customers with like an email or whatever after they've left, you can remind them, hey, you didn't come back and you didn't finish your purchase. And sometimes those people will come back and complete their purchase because they'll be like, oh yeah, and then they'll come back and buy from you. So having an abandoned cart feature in a platform, some of the platforms will offer that, and that can help increase your conversions with that feature, since such a significant number of them abandon their shopping carts. For shipping preferences, 90% of people like free shipping. And so when they are ordering online, if they can get free shipping, they will love you for it, and they'll be more likely to buy versus if they have to pay for shipping. And then the last stat I have to share with you is with customer retention. So you can, acquire new customers, but you'll end up paying 5 times more than keeping your existing ones. So using loyalty programs, personalized offers, those kinds of things can help, keep your existing customers coming back. Whereas you'll end up spending more if you're just focusing on trying to get new customers all the time. So having repeat customers is going to be more cost effective, but also, it's good to work on getting new customers, of course, but having it part of your strategy is important. Okay, so that is what I have for you. I have additional details, though, that I have in the different articles on the site here, the blog. Let me go back here. So with print on demand, I do want to go a little bit into this. AI has just transformed so many things. And one of the things that it can do is print on demand stuff, if you know how to do it right. So I actually have tried out, well, I've tried different AI tools. You can use them to generate graphics. ChatGPT can generate graphics, and it does, well, a relatively poor job. It can do it, it just doesn't do it well. And if you try to get it to generate text, it can't. It will try, but it will typically misspell things. It will do it poorly. But it can generate some really amazing images. This image on screen, this thing was created by ChatGPT. Now, you can see some of the details are messed up. But it did good overall. You know, in what it generated. It can generate images that you can put and have printed on products. But a lot of the times, the images that you get from AI, I specifically have this. This was also generated by ChatGPT. You can see some of it is a little weird, but it can generate images that you can actually put on products that you can have printed and sell in a shop. So I actually have different tools that I list that, you know, I can recommend, you know, to use that are very cost effective and, you know, very affordable, in some cases free. You might be able to do some free limited images, you know, a few per day or something like that even. And then you increase the size of that image so it can be printed, and then you can apply an effect to it. And then you can add it to a product. And then you can list it for sale. Now, in general, as I've stated before, the conversion rate for print on demand is very low. It's like 1 to 2%. So you have to have a lot of traffic. But if you do consistent marketing and you target things that, you know, you target products that people are going to want, and that you target, you know, keywords, topics, things that people are going to be interested in, it can be a profitable thing. And using AI tools can be a great way to, you know, just have more products that you can offer for sale for your store. Or you can build an entire business around it. There's a lot of different opportunities with it. You can do some really cool things with it, where you want to have posters that you can use it for, or have t-shirts, or hoodies, or coffee mugs, different things like that. That's why I have all these crazy images here. You can do different things with it. It can come up with all kinds of stuff. Realistic looking things, photorealistic looking people and objects and animals and landscapes. Just amazing stuff that you can do with AI. Just with simple prompts, and just say, you know, generate a beautiful photo of scenic landscape, you know, and you can add fantasy and everything like that to it. Or you can make it realistic looking, and it can produce, you know, a lot of great images. And so I've got this whole guide on that, if you so want. I also have this video I produced some time back on my other channel for Making the Impact, and it goes into how you can do this for free and generate images and stuff, and then list them on, you know, sites like there's print-on-demand sites, not just Printful and Printify, but there's other platforms too, like Cafe Press. You can list stuff on. You can use Redbubble. Those are just a couple of platforms and stuff. But I don't typically recommend those because there's just too many products. It's oversaturated. So you're competing against a ton of other products, and most people don't make anything on those platforms, for the most part, from what I understand. Um, but that's why I recommend some of these other, platforms like Printful and Printify, um, because the profit will be higher on that, whereas some of the other things will get just a commission, and it's if it sells, and it would be, the payment release for that is delayed. If you go with like Redbubble or something, versus Printful or Printify and using your own shop, where you get paid by the customer, within, a few days of the payment processes, and uh, and it gets shipped to the customer and stuff. So very similar setup, but it's stuff I've done before. This stuff is pretty good, using AI for and stuff. So very neat thing to be able to do. Um, so it's good for, nonprofit stuff. It's good for, just general stores, niche topics and stuff. So if you want to do something with animals or whatever, or angels, or uh, just anything, I mean, the AI can generate just about anything. Uh, and it can do a pretty good job with that. Let's see. The other thing here I could talk to you about. Let's see. This was another AI generated image. You can see that the text is messed up. That's something I want to point out, but that's because the AI doesn't know what to do with text. It's too confused at this stage. It did try to spell store, so I will give it credit for that. But the other stuff is like really gibberish. But it tried. So you'll find that if it generates an image, even if you tell it not to put text, it will still probably do it anyway. So you may have to do things over and over again if you use AI to generate some images and stuff. Let's see. Oh yes, so some products, if you are selling, particularly with like print on demand, or just in general, if you're producing shirts or something like that, or have home decor, there's accessories and stuff. There's certain products that are going to sell better than others. Typically speaking, shirts and hoodies tend to be more popular and stuff. It just, niche, specific can do better than some of the other items and stuff. You can find that, you can use posters and mugs and pillows and stuff that can do pretty good, especially for gifts and stuff. You can use tote bags and phone cases, backpacks and stuff. Those tend to do pretty good too. And you can also use stationery as well. So this can also work for, just general promotional stuff. So if you have some sort of slogan or something like that that people really like, you can put that on some products and just add that to your online store. Even if it's not your main thing, it might be something that could sell and get you some more sales. And I do have some more tips and advice that you can do. So make sure that you use quality design and, using different marketing channels. So using email marketing, influencers, social media, content, providing value on your website and stuff, like through blog content and stuff that can help. And then, testing and stuff, using customer reviews, shipping and stuff. So a lot of things that, I've already covered. But yeah, so that's, the bulk of everything. We're running out of time, but I do want to go back, let me see, to this one thing. I wanted to find a demonstration of it. Where is it? Let's see. With their stuff. But with like SureCart, I guess SureCart is probably one of my favorites, even though I just recently found it. It's because it is already included with ZipWP, which is really a powerful tool to just instantly create a website with AI and have it populate all the text and everything for you. And so that is probably my main, you know, reason why I think it's pretty good. And I like that it includes a lot of features and stuff. So it currently is the one that I would recommend at this stage, since LaunchCart has failed me with taking away their free tier. Um, but even LaunchCart had some drawbacks in that customizing it is more difficult. And some of their templates are personally, I think, ugly, but still workable. Whereas SureCart, I think, probably looks better, but I was trying to find some examples, but let me see if they have something. Let's see. Let's just see what they say. Do they? It says use cases, but it doesn't actually show me any examples of a store with it. Wow, that's annoying. Where is it? Let me see here. Well, if there are any questions, feel free to put it in the chat. I am going to try and find an example website with it. Well, I guess I could try to do a demonstration on an example website here. Here, we'll just do this. So we'll do a live demonstration here. So let's see what happens. This is a local installation. So this is not a real website. This is just on a local thing on my computer. So this is just specific to my computer. If you try to go to this domain name, it will not go to this. So this is good for testing purposes. So we can go ahead and test it and see what it does. Because I don't want to have to sign up for one of the other platforms and stuff. I just want to show you kind of what an e-commerce site may be. It's running slow on here for some reason. Maybe overwhelming my computer a bit with too many tabs. Maybe it would help if I close some things. Let's see. Close. I'll close some stuff. Maybe that might help. Let's see if I... It's still going. It might be a large file or something. But anyway, you can put questions in the chat if you want. If you have any questions, you are free to explore my blog posts on all these things. I tried to put together as much relevant information as I could on these things so that you understand, you know, what's involved and stuff. I know there's a lot of different options and platforms to choose from. That's why I was hoping I could get this to work, but it might be taking issue since it's not a live site. I did not test this beforehand. I had meant to set up something, but I forgot. So I got busy with some other stuff and then forgot about it, and so I forgot to do this. I had meant to. Okay, let me see. Maybe they might have something. Get started for free. And they aren't going to tell me. Do which payment gateways? Alright, well, we can see that SureCart supports everything. It's got Google Pay, Apple Pay, Stripe, PayPal, another one called Molly. I did not cover Molly. I don't know exactly what that is. I've heard of it, though. Doesn't slow down your site. GDPR compliant. That means it is compliant with the laws in Europe regarding privacy. Let's see. And so they do not store credit card payment details, just like I was saying with payment processors. And then works with all page builders. Can be translated, so you can translate it into different languages. So that's one of the other features it has. Let me see if it will. I think it's still trying to install it. How unfortunate. Okay, well, I don't really want to play their video. I was hoping. They don't have any screenshots I can use. But, product pricing. So they've got a lot of tutorials and things that you can check out. It's a WooCommerce alternative. So it's not ideal. Yeah, it's saying you'd end up spending more in WooCommerce add-ons to get the same features that SureCart has. And I believe that with my experience with WooCommerce. In order to do a lot of the things that their system would do, it would cost you a lot more to use those. Let's see. They've got upsell funnels and order bumps and all kinds of things. So they've got, let's see, subscription upgrades and stuff. Definitely superior to WooCommerce. Let me see. I don't think it's going to allow me to install this. We'll do an experiment though. Not that. Where did it go? Alright, let me... Here it is. Okay. There it is. Sorry, I have too many tabs open. Let me try downloading this and see what happens. Perhaps it will allow me to do it this way. So we'll try uploading it this way. I'm doing a live experiment. It's still taking forever. It might not like that I'm on a local server, so that might be why it's not working. Come on. Hopefully it will work. It really might not like the local development. It probably requires SSL, and I don't have that on this. Because it's just a local development server, so it's not going to have that. Alright, well, anyway, you can put questions in the chat, if you have anything. If there's something that you'd like me to cover, you can also, put that in there. But I believe I've covered everything that you really need to know about online stores. And I also have just general information about dealing with even print-on-demand stuff. So with like the returns and exchanges, for example, so the printful return, in exchange policies and stuff, you want to make sure that you check with the companies and stuff. Same with Printify. So if you have print-on-demand products, you can have, and if customers contact you and say, hey, there's a problem with this product and stuff, that you'll be able to handle that return or exchange and, make things go smoothly. And so you know what their policies are, what is involved, and what to tell your customers, and how you'll process those on your end, and how it will go, and how you'll track all of that. So you'll need to make sure all of that is in mind. Let's see. And that goes for even just general products as well, to have that information on there. And you'll need to know what shipping methods that you'll be using, regardless, as well. And so there's calculated options, as I had mentioned before, but there's also flat rates and stuff like that. But most people are going to want free shipping, but sometimes that's just not possible to be able to offer that and offer the price, that they want to pay for the product. So you have to find a way to balance it all out. Yeah, it's not going to let me do it. I don't know. I was hoping I could test it out, but they aren't going to let me. Um, but at least they have a lot of good reviews. Some negative, but mostly positive. So, SureCart seems to be a pretty good way. And it was last updated 2 weeks ago. So, it gets continuous updates, which is good. Um, I just wish I had a demonstration ready to go, but unfortunately I don't. But maybe I'll try and put together a video later on that. Then I can kind of show how it works once I get it installed and stuff. But yeah, so you have a lot of options that I've put together, and tried to uh, show here. I will try to put together some more information, like maybe specific breakdowns of each one, and see, what uh, what I can do to help make it easier for you to decide what ones to go with, and try and highlight the features and stuff. It's a lot of work and takes time to do all this. So it's something that will take me some time to try to produce all of this, but at least this is here to give you a start, so you can kind of decide, and and you can see also with transaction fees and stuff, so that's something else to consider. So there's all kinds of things um, with all the platforms as you go to decide. That's basically all I've got for you right now. Since there's no questions, I think I'll call it a night. I am getting tired. But I hope all the information is valuable and helpful to you. And as I get more information on some of these other platforms and stuff, I will, let you know and put this on the website and stuff like that. You can always get to it from my little blog section here. And I've also added a search bar so you can, see what I've got on the platforms and stuff. And then I also have the resources section that I added, which gives you some more options and stuff. I've got to add a category for e-commerce and stuff because for some reason I don't have that on there. I'll try to get that added, and then you'll be able to browse everything that I've got here. So if you're looking for AI tools, I've got like image generators listed on here, and as I can, I'll be putting screenshots of them. And I've got just all kinds of resources I've been trying to put together. It takes a lot of time to put all this, information in here and stuff for whatever you're needing and looking to do. So I've got some of my favorite things that I've highlighted here. Canva, just super powerful, so helpful, and very affordable too, because it gives you access to a lot of stock images and stuff. And oh yeah, my favorite hosting and stuff. And ZipWP, very cool. I love that thing too, because it's instant website. I mean, that is just the most powerful thing in the world now, in my opinion. Totally changes everything, makes it so you can focus on, other things rather than trying to put together, a lot of nitty-gritty details and stuff and trying to design certain things. You can have the AI do most of the work and then customize it. I mean, it's just saves so much time and work doing that. And then, we've got some other hosting plans, especially if you're looking for e-commerce hosting. Hostinger is good, SiteGround is good, and stuff. And then I've got all these other things. So like AppyPie, and then AI for phones and stuff, and social media tools and stuff. So if you're trying to do social media management and stuff, just tons of things. And I'll be adding more as I can. And so, yeah. Hopefully all this stuff will be useful. Otherwise I'm wasting my time, but it should be useful. I've been, working hard on getting this all put together. And then I also have this post as well. I did not go over this, but it talks about the things that you can do to try to improve the sales conversion on your website. So making sure it's simple, making sure the website's fast, make sure that there's calls to action so people know what to do when they go to your website. Where do they find things that they want? Well, let's see. Having testimonials and reviews goes a long way. Having, security and trustworthiness. So making sure people know that, uh, you know, their information will be handled securely and everything like that. So that they can, feel that they can trust you to make a purchase and that you're not a scammer. Using SEO and offering live chat. There's a lot of plugins and tools and things like that. Even that ZipWP, it has an option, a feature that you can just check, and it will add that live chat support to your website. I mean, just instantly. It's just like, wow. So, a lot of those features, you can get, the core functionality for free, using, a WordPress website, paying for the, low cost hosting and stuff. And you can just totally have a powerful website, very budget friendly solution. I suppose that's why I rave about it, because it's just like one of the best low cost options I can ever recommend. And then, some of the other options and stuff, Shopify, it has great features. Ecwid, good as well. I mean, but just can't really beat, everything that you can get with WordPress done. From live chats to all kinds of stuff. So, I mean, I recommend, checking out different things, figuring out what strategy you want to go with. Because Ecwid is good too, because I also like Ecwid. Because Ecwid has so many marketplaces and stuff and different things that you can connect to. And, they've got pretty decent plans. I mean, it's still going to cost you $21 a month. But that's billed annually, of course. And then $25 month to month. But, I mean, you get, so much you can sell on Instagram and Facebook and stuff. And that can get you more sales and stuff. Because, Facebook and Instagram has a large user base. Very large. And so it can be a great way to market to the, if your target market is on there. It can help you get more sales. So, I mean, so many tools and stuff. It is hard to decide. And so that's why it's important to compare and know what your strategy is long term and stuff. But yeah. So anyway, that's what I've got for you. You can explore all this stuff that I've put together and yeah, come up with a strategy that works for you. And yeah, if you have questions, you can always let me know, and then I will do my best to help. For now, I think I am worn out, and I think I am tired. So, I think I'll call it a night, and thank you for sticking with me and watching. I'll put together some shorter videos for those that don't have the attention span, and that may be overwhelmed by all this information, so I'll try and get that put together as well, and hopefully that will make this information easier to digest and understand. But I think these blog posts will go a long way, so in helping cover a lot of this. But if there's a topic that I didn't cover that you want information on, you can ask and I will work on getting that put together. But for now, I will see you